Hello dear students, welcome to the another video tutorial of mammalian histology. In that previously we have finished with the tissues, okay, and we have seen in that the various um, types of the tissues, okay. The definition we have seen the of tissues, the epithelial tissues, the type of the epithelials, okay, the connective tissues. In that we have seen the connective tissue proper, connective tissue um, skeletals, fluid connective, and we have also seen with the muscular tissues, okay, and we have seen with the cardiac muscles and nervous tissues. So we have collected the ab abundant information to know what is the histology is, okay, and we are proceeding further today that the various histological study of the organs, okay, and in that we will come closer with the mammalian histology, and what is actual histology is you will be understand from here onwards, okay. So until now we were just collecting the information to understand the histology, okay. So let's start with the chapter third, that is the histological study of the organs. In that the first session for the chapter third will be uh, and part first of the skin, okay. And you know that the skin is the largest organ in the human body, literally covering you from head to your toe, okay. So the organ constitutes almost 8 to 20% of the mass and has a surface area of approximately 1.6 to 1.8 meter square, okay. So as it measured in the adult human being, okay. So it is comprises of three major layers. We will study in deep, okay, in detail about three layers, that are the epidermis will be the first layer, then the dermis, and then the hypodermis will be the innermost layer of this particular organ known as the skin, okay, which contains certain sub layers, okay, and that sub layers we will study one by one, okay. So owing to variations in this height and weight, okay, and that variations in the height and weight, the surface area of the skin may vary from based on the parameters how that particular person's height is and weight is, okay. So variations will be there in these particular um, areas of this particular organ, okay. So the surface of the skin is a parameter, okay, that is often used in the dermating to the therapeutic doses for various medications, okay. uh, some skinny animals are used in the some medications, okay, for preparing vaccines and all these things. We will simply touch this point also. So the organ act as a protective barrier of our body that limits the migration of microbes and the chemicals into the body, okay. As we all know that the all microbes and all these things are not going to pass the skin, okay, and the chemical barrier also, skin act as a chemical barrier, okay. Additionally, it plays an integral role in thermoregulation, that as it participates in evaporation in hyperthermic environment, and that hyperthermic environment is nothing but the hot and humid climate, not hot and humid though, only the hot climates, okay, where there this our body is going to this skin is having the sweat glands, and these sweat glands are going to um, sweat is coming out from that glands, okay, and the thermoregulation nothing but the maintain to the temperature of this body, okay. As you all know that the normal temperature is our body is 98 degree Fahrenheit, that is nothing but the 37 degree Celsius, okay. So we can maintain um, our blood temperature, our temperature of body, okay. We can thermoregulate the as the environment changes, okay. And our body always maintains the temperature is 98 degrees Fahrenheit, okay. And that 98 degree Fahrenheit temperature always our body is going to maintain due to the thermoregulation, okay. The furthermore, the neurons in the skin is detect sensory inputs that helps within the interacting with the environment, that is the sense of the sensation is the most nice things that the neurons in the skin is going to sense the sense of the touch, okay. And in the absence of this organ, the cellular water content would dramatically decrease, as this as there would be no membrane to limit the loss of water from the exposed cell. If this barrier is we can if we remove this barrier, the skin barrier, okay, if you remove this organ, our cells will be direct contact with the environment, and there will be direct interactions in between the environment and the our body cells, okay. So this organ, that is nothing but the skin, is going to procure or to protect our inner body mass, okay, from the changes that are happening outerwards than the our body environment, okay. So it is most important that direct contact, direct communications with our cellular material and the outer environment our body is not going to in direct contact, okay. So also the sebaceous or these subcutaneous tissues would be ex exposed to harmful ultraviolet lights, okay, and that enters the planet's atmosphere, okay. As you can see, it will be the protection from the our melanin, okay. That melanin is going to protect us from the ultraviolet radiations that are emitted from the sun or the from the outer environment of the our earth, okay. So this will be the skin anatomy. As you can see, the three layers that are nothing but at your left hand side, that are nothing but the epidermis, okay. The derma is nothing but the dermis, okay, and hypodermis. The subcutaneous layers also include in the hypodermis, okay. So as you can see, the hair, sweat pores, nerves, okay, sweat glands, okay, hair bulb that are the origin of the trichomes or the hairs from the skin itself, from the dermis. We will see this all in detail one by one, okay. So the hair bulb, vein, arteries, and the adipose tissue, that is comprises in the hypodermis, okay. And the dermis layers having the nerves, sweat glands, hair bulbs, that is the root hair, okay. And dermis comprises the pore for the sweat glands and the hairs that are the shafts, okay. So as you can see, this particular chart that is highlighting the key facts about the skin or the histology of the skin, okay. As you can see, the what will be the definition of the skin, that is the largest bodily organ that covers and protect the external surface of our body. Okay. So the skin layers, in that what we have seen, the three skin layers are there. So epidermis, the most superficial layers, okay, uppermost layer. The dermis, that will be the deep layer, the innermost layer, okay, the middle layer, okay, and hypodermis will be the deepest layer with loose connective and adipose tissues, okay. The function of the skin will be the protection, thermoregulation, detecting sensory stimuli, that will be the sense of the sensations, okay, and clinical relations of the skin to the uh, our body, that will be the desquamation imbalance. That is the desquamation imbalance means what? The direct contact with the inner body mass with the outermost environment, okay, and uh, psoriasis, okay, albinism, okay, melanoma. These are the some diseases are happening by means of the imbalance of these particular substances, or the constituents are embedded, or the are locating in the skin, okay. Melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, that will be the cancer, okay, and these are the some clinical relations with the skin, okay. Okay, so the gross anatomy of the skin, we are starting with this main topic, how that anatomy of the skin look like. And okay, so we will start one by one. We will start further uh, with the epidermis first, okay, then the dermis, and the then hypodermis, okay, with the uh, under the topic that will be the skin, okay. So there are three general layers of skin, we know that, and from superficial to deep, okay, that means from superficial layer to the deep inside, okay, and there are the they are the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis, okay. So each layer can be further subdivided into their own constituent regions, okay, and that own constituent regions of these particular layers, that may be with the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis. So let's start with the epidermis, what epidermis comprises of. Okay, the epidermis is the uppermost skin layer, okay, and going from deep to superficial, and it consists of 5 layers, the layers of the epidermis, okay. Epidermis itself layer of the skin, and we are um, seeing, or we are going to see the sub layers of the skin and the layers of the epidermis, okay. So first will be the basal layer, that is also known as the stratum basal or stratum germinatum, okay. The second will be the prickle cell layer, that will be stratum spinosum, okay, spinosum, okay, and granular layer, that will be stratum granulosum, okay. Clear layer, that will be the stratum lucidum, and the next will be the um, cornified layer, that will be the stratum corneum, okay. So these are the scientific terms coined for this particular layers, okay. You should remember all these scientific approaches for used for these particular epidermis layers, okay. And as you can see in this picture, the stratum corneum, you can see this is the layers of the epidermis, okay. It is stained by the hematoxylin and eosin stains, that are shortly known as the He stains, okay. And it is on the medium magnifications on the electron on the uh, light microscope, okay. So the stratum corneum, you can see the pinkish most wide layer. Okay, as you can see, the on your at the middle, that is layer, the biggest layer will be the stratum corneum. Okay, and stratum lucidum just below that, just beneath of these stratum corneum, you can see the stratum lucidum. Okay, and stratum granulosum just below the stratum lucidum. Okay, the pinkish dot you can see. Okay, and stratum basal, that will be the base or the basement membrane of the epidermis. Okay, so as you can see at your right hand side, that will be the magnifications of these particular layers. Okay, as you can see, the first cube that is exhibiting or that is locating for the stratum corneum. Okay, and it having the sub layers, that is the stratum disjunctionum, that will be the uppermost layer. Okay, you can see the cells of these particular stratum corneum that are nothing but known as the corneocytes. Okay, you can see the second uh, square that is going to highlight, or that is going to zoom in for the stratum lucidum. Okay, and stratum granulosum. Okay, as you can see, the uh, Langerhans cells, that will be the cells of this particular stratum lucidum. Okay, and you can see the granular keratinocyte, that will be the stratum granulosum cells. Okay, as you can see, the spinous keratinocytes, that will be the stratum spinosum cells. Okay, and epidermal basal cells, as you can see from the basal membrane. Okay, stratum basals. Okay, and you can see the melanocytes that are producing the melanin pigments, that are you can see at the basal membrane of epidermis. Okay, so this will be the gross anatomy, or this is the actual stain image of the epidermis. Okay, that was stained by the hematoxylin and eosin. Okay, on the medium magnifications. Okay, as you can see, these layers of the epidermis only. Okay, and if these layers having these cells that are sited by means of using the site on this at the it end. Okay, as you can see, the keratinocyte, glandular keratocyte. Okay, Langerhans cells. Okay, spinous keratinocyte, epidermal basal cells, and the melanocyte. These are the cells of this epidermis. Okay, so as you can see, the prickle cells and the basal layers are collectively reformed to as the Malpighian layers. Okay, all these layers, prickle cells, are collectively called as the Malpighian layers, and the basal prickle cells and granular layers are metabolically active regions of the epidermis. Okay, and the basal layer undergoes continuous mitosis throughout life. Okay, the daughter cells ascends and epidermal layers while undergoing the morphological changes throughout the journey of life. Okay, so it also develops cleft and the ridges that are perceived on the thickened areas of the skin as the imprints, that are nothing but your fingerprints and the footprints. Okay, these are the um, on your palm and the toes. Okay, so the epidermis is significantly thicker in the regions of the palms and soles when comprised compared to the other areas of the body. As you can see, your palm is thicken, or the thicken areas of the skin, that are nothing but the your fingerprints, and the at your sole, that will be the footprints. Okay, so furthermore, there are no sebaceous glands and hairs follicles located on these skins. Okay, and the palm and sole, while those structures are found in other areas of the body. Okay, where just um, from rather than this palm and sole, everywhere there will be the you can see the skin is covered with the hair or the hairy skin, as you can see. So the stratum lucidum is absent from hirsute skins, okay, but present in the glabrous skin. That will be the type of the skins, how as a melanin decreased or increased, that these skin types are changing. Okay, so as you can see, uh, the key facts about the epidermis are, you can see this cell, this will be easier to remember for you people. Okay, so the you can see the cell types and the layers. Okay, so as you can see, the keratinocytes, that will be the squamous epithelial cells that originate from the basal stem cells, okay, and continuously mature from the basal to corneum layers, okay, and uh, disquamate, okay, then they will be going to vanish from there. Okay, the second cell type will be the melanocytes. Okay, as you all know, the synthesis of melanin that gives the color to the skin, that will be a dark and a fair color. Okay, so and it protects it from the ultraviolet radiations. Okay, the hence the melanin uh, is in abundant amount in the African people. That why they are more suffering from the ultraviolet radiations. Their evolution is such happens such a way that the melanocytes or the melanin synthesis is high in that people. Why they are look like the black or the Negro people. Okay. The third cell type will be the Langerhans cells, that will be the antigen presenting cells. Okay, antigen presenting cells, nothing but the it will be marker cells for the um, other foreign particles are entering, or the foreign particle cells are entering in the skin. That will be the, it will be highlighting to the our NK cells and the cells of the immune systems by enlightening or the highlighting the antigen presenting on the surface of these Langerhans cells. Okay, so the Merkel cells, that will be the mechanoreceptors. That mechanoreceptors, it also having the most important functions into the immune system. So the layers, so these layers we will see in the next session for the skin. Okay, the detailed structures or the detailed information about these layers. Okay, and for this session you will understand the names of these layers and try to remember these layers of the epidermis. Okay, the first layer will be this stratum basal. It is also known as the stratum germinatum. Okay, and germinativum. Okay, and stem cells constantly undergoing the mitosis. Okay, regenerate the other layers, that stratum basal layers. We are coming from the base to the upper side. Okay, and stratum spinosum, that will be contains the post mitotic cells. Okay, from stratum basal, that contains the keratin fibers or the keratin fibrils, that will be the melanosomes and the Langerhans cells. Okay, stratum granulosum, that will be flattened polygonal cells that contain the keratinohaline granules. That keratinohaline granules, that nothing but the, it will be having the woodland bodies. Okay, the stratum lucidum, that will be the present only in the palms and the soles. Okay, the stratum lucidum layer, and translucent cells filled with the keratin filaments. Okay, and stratum corneum or the corneum, that will be the dead and non-cleared or non-cleated cells filled with the keratin filament. Okay, as you can see, the dead skin is every day the billions of these cells are going to shed off from our body. Okay, that all shredding cells are nothing but the stratum corneum, that are the dead and non-nucleated cells filled with the keratin filaments. Okay, so as you can see the cell types, okay, we will locate on the cell type first. Okay, so we will stop here and we will okay, so just see how we will continue for this. Okay, so the cell types will be the epidermis is made of a variety of cell types. As you can see here, the cell types, the keratinocytes, melanocytes, and the Langerhans cells and the marker cells. Okay, we will stick to this point in this session, and we will see the layers of the epidermis in the next session. Okay, the epidermis is made up of the variety of cells, type cells that contains the uh, keratin are known as the keratinocytes. Okay, that keratin is having with the some cells that are referred as the keratinocytes. So these are stratified squamous epithelial cells. Okay, remember your uh, the tissues. Okay, so the cells of the epidermis that are comprises with the keratinocytes, okay, or the named as the keratinocytes having the stratified squamous epithelium cells. Okay, and that are shed from the surface of the skin daily. Okay, they are shredding daily from your skin, and they are the progeny of the cell in the basal layers. Okay, are you going to understand? Are you understanding it? They are the progeny of the cell in the basal layers of the epidermis or the skin. There are also mature non-keratinocytes that exist in the epidermis. Okay, so these enucleated the melanocytes are which are divided from the embryonic neural crest. Okay, and that embryonic neural crest is nothing but the when we have seen the origin of the cells. Okay, that the cells are originated from the embryonic stages. Okay, as started earlier, these and lymphocytes are Langerhans cells. Okay, and that arises from bone marrow and the dendritic cells. Okay, so as started earlier, okay, the melanocytes synthesize and store melanin, which not only contributes to the color of the skin and hair but also provides the protection against the ultraviolet radiations. Okay, and they appear as a clear cells in the basal layers with the large round and the achromatic nuclei. Okay, so it is possible for single melanocytes to improve melanin from the approximately 30 keratinocytes via a dendritic arborations. Okay, so the Langerhans cells serves as antigen presenting cells. Okay, and they are distributed throughout the strata spicosum. Okay, and the pinosum, that basal layer, that is the strata pinosum, that will be the layer of the epidermis, and spreading only the sweat glands, having the location for the sweat glands. Okay, and these cells can be readily identified by a hallmark, that will be the Tenin's racket, like discoid, the shape of that these cells, that will be discoid by Burbic granule like structures you can see in addition to the euchromatic cytoplasm and the Golgi complexes. Okay, so there are also mechanoreceptors within the epidermis that facilitate the sensory uh, perceptions. Okay, the Merkel cells are clear, ovoid in shape. Okay, and may occur slightly in the clusters in the stratum basals. Okay, so the free nerve endings in the form of the expanded disc are present in the base of these cells. Okay, marker cells are may act as sensory mechanoreceptors. Okay, and are also through the function as the neuroendocrine sensory receptors. Okay, as you can see in these pictures, we have already seen these cells in the our topic named as the tissues. Okay, so as you can see, the keratinocytes are highlighted in the green patches that you can see the zoom in. Okay, you can see the keratinocytes that are going to uh, produce the keratin. Okay, you can see the melanocytes. Okay, whereas they are going to melanocytes, also known as the, they are going to produce the melanin. Okay, and as you can see the Langerhans cells that are antigen representing cells. Okay, in the last picture, third picture will be the Langerhans cells that are also known as the cellular Langerhans. Okay, so we will stop here, and this is actual histological pictures of these layers of the epidermis. Okay, and the cells are showing uh, the cells of the epidermis. Okay, so we will going to stop here and we will meet in the next session. Thank you.